I want to start a little bit with my story. So I've been a finance professional for a couple of years and working in controllership, financial statements presentation. But in 2018, I got a huge challenge to become a global tax provision leader for a huge corporation, Fortune magazine company that has a large presence in the US and in more than 160 countries. So it was something new to me to be in the tax department and be the voice of the tax department when it comes to tax data. So here are my challenges on that time. So the first thing is it's a very important line. So the corporate tax has a material impact in the financial statements. In my case, it was around 18 to 25% of the earnings before tax were represented by the income tax, the corporate tax for the company. Second thing, this is kind of common sense, and it was also for me. The tax team, they have their own complex language with their terms, with their legislations, the way that normally they communicate, the way that they read and they know information. So it's complex. And be the ambassador of communicating tax data to the rest of the finance team was challenged. To learn first to learn all this complex language and then translated it to something simple. The third thing was the company that I was working for, it was with a large presence in the US. And on that moment, everything in the tax world was changing. We had the 2017 US tax reform that bring more complexity and so much more difficult to explain the tax impacts in the financial statements. And the fourth thing, on that time, management wasn't so happy with how we presented the tax data. As you may know, the corporate tax for corporations that are in the US, they base their entries in the effective tax rate that is presented that is based on the forecast during the year, and we were having lots of volatility in this in the tax line. So one of my challenges was I wanted you to stop the volatility, to have better forecast. So what was the solution for me? The first thing was analyzing, being part of the finance team for a long time in other positions, not in the tax department. I invited myself, I came to the FP&A team and told them, look, most of the time in the tax department, the tax provision is based on the forecast. So I think the tax team needs to have a place in the FP&A team. We need to participate on that. And with that, with this alignment that the tax team was part of the FP&A, my team and I started to realize the communication that the FP&A use with the senior management to talk about their results. We observe their materiality levels, the type of visualizations that they use, the materiality that they use, and then what we did was to absorb and use the same kind of methodology when we communicated the tax data. And the third thing was really evolve in the communication of the tax data in terms of, oh, let's participate, let's do more pre-mortem meetings, let's align with the auditors. So communicate, and have the feedback from the audience, what we need to improve to make our data clear and the message easy to understand. So here I have some examples of how we changed the game on that time. So the first thing, it's very common for the tax department to present the effective tax rate bridge from what we have in quarter before and what we have now. So we used some visualization, as I show here in the left side. We used some tables to show the variances. But we realized that normally the FP&A team, they communicate variances using the waterfall charts. And normally their materiality was with just one decimal, not two decimals. So a quick change that we made was, let's communicate bridges from that explains variations from one quarter to another using the same type of chart, using the colors to communicate when something is something that we needed to pay more attention, or green colors, for example, to see when something is beneficial. My second example in this slide was regarding the way that we present tables and variances among the different quarters. So the text team was presenting events in different quarters, putting one quarter after another and not rounding the numbers. So one small change that we made was, let's present similar to the other departments in the FP&A area. They always have the quarter information in horizontal way, not vertical as we had, and they always rounded the numbers in thousand. My final example was how we were used to communicate the drivers by different countries in terms of tax rate. So here we have the before, how we communicated the bridge from one quarter to another and the variance among the countries. So we see we have a table, we have all the information there, and then we transfer each to waterfall picture where we emphasize first where we have large variances, and everything that was smaller we categorize as immaterials in other.